Welcome back to another edition of Under Further Review with me, Noel Granada. In these segments, I'll be giving you a quick look at each team going into the 2013 season. I'll be talking about last season, the offseason, the draft, player positions, and can they make the playoffs. Today on my board, we have the Oakland Raiders. Let's quickly look at what happened to the Raiders last season. Well, they went 4-12, didn't make the playoffs. Carson Palmer didn't help win games as the offense struggled a lot. Darren McFadden was a non-factor all year and got hurt again and only played 12 games. And they finished the season ranked 18th in total offense and defense. Not such a good season again. The offseason. Man, oh man, where do you start with this team? I really feel for GM Reggie McKenzie, though, who's just had to deal with the huge mess that Oakland left for him to deal with. But I think McKenzie is heading in the right direction with the Raiders. He got rid of an expensive QB in Carson Palmer and was able to get Matt Flynn this offseason, former Packer. We know that Flynn can do something because I saw it in Green Bay, but he lost the starting job in Seattle, which was kind of weird to Russell Wilson. So that needs to get figured out, hopefully, this offseason for the Raiders if they were going to go forward with Flynn. And they completely just gutted this defense, too, also with just 4 starters coming back on the defense, thanks to salary cap issues. If the Raiders want to be anywhere near relevant again in the future, they need to tear down the whole house to build a strong base again. And that's what McKenzie is doing. Yeah, he says there is no means into rebuilding and blah, blah, blah. They want to win. Sorry, this team has to rebuild to find their identity and get them back to the train tracks, basically. The talent is low and on this team, and they have just a lot of work ahead of them that needs to be solved this season. My favorite picks from the draft. Well, my favorite picks from the draft goes to Raiders first rounder DJ Hayden from Houston and third rounder C.O. Moore from Connecticut. Hayden had a serious heart valve injury last year, but he got it fixed and now seems to be more determined than ever in his career. He's quick, tough, and can break up plays with the ball in the air. He was a need pick, so he will start at the corner for the Raiders in the awful secondary. I also like outside linebacker C.O. Moore, who seems to be a productive linebacker, and could be a very reliable starter for the Raiders. He's also a dangerous pass rusher, so hopefully he can blossom sooner than expected this season. Positions. Who will start this year for the Raiders? I think it will be likely that Matt Flynn might start, but don't count out Terrell Pryor, who did impress a lot of people and impressed me last year at the end of the season. Plus, there's also draft pick Tyler Wilson from Arkansas. Whoever the guy is, though, this season will just prove what the Raiders will have at their QB positions. I'm going to be a little optimistic with these guys and just hope for the best. Hopefully that's what the Raider fans do. Running backs. Now, Darren McFadden hasn't played more than 13 games in a season since being drafted in 2008. Can this man please stay healthy? The injury-prone back hopes to come back strong and play a full season with the Raiders. Oh, so desperately do they need him. Raiders went and drafted Latavius Murray from Central Florida this year for some depth and to try to fill the void if McFadden goes down yet again with another injury. My favorite back from the Raiders has to go to Marcel Reese, though, who is just this big monster back who can not only run and catch the ball in the backfield. So I expect big things from him, and hopefully McFadden and Reese and all these guys become very productive. Wide receivers. Denarius Moore is the clear number 1 receiver on the team, but needs to play more consistent. He obviously has shown his big play abilities written all over him, and he could break out this year for a big season. Second-year receiver is a toss-up between injury Jacoby Ford and Rod Streeter, who both look like they can step up their game. Streeter is very reliable, and Ford is also just another big playmaker. I hated seeing Brandon Myers being let go to free agency, as he's led the team in receptions and yards last year. Filling in the tight end spots will be Mickey Schuler and Richard Gordon and rookies Nick Casa and Michael Rivera. Who's going to step up for the tight ends? Offensive line. Well, the Raiders are only bringing back 2 starters from the line in left tackle Jared Veldheer and center Stefan Wisniewski. Wisniewski? I don't know how you say his last name. Sounds close. So, some of the new guys on the line won't equal to positives or perfect chemistry here, but there's going to be lots of battling in training camp for a spot on the O-line. Hopefully they get it together. Defensive line. Well, right in Lamar Houston is only player returning from the line. I like Houston, but his supporting cast this year is gone to free agency, so again, lots of new faces on this line. Tackles Pat Sims, Vance Walker, and Andre Carter will try to help patch this diminished in talent line, but there's not a lot to like here because losing your whole line is not usually a good thing. Linebackers. Like the line, the Raiders lost Rondo McClain, Philip Wheeler, and Omar Gaffner. Only one starter returns to this group, and that's Miles Burris. So they're patching up with Nick Roach, Kaluka Mayava, and Kevin Burnett. I think Roach will start with rookie C.O. Moore. I think this is the strongest part of the Raiders' defense here and could be dangerous, but we'll see. Secondary. Well, this secondary was one of the worst last year, so the Raiders only brought back strong safety Chiron Branch, as he's been just a solid and consistent guy at the position. Honestly, I don't know what to expect this year from the secondary. They're patching up with Tracy Porter and Mike Jenkins, Asama Young, and familiar faces Charles Woodson, former Packer and Raider, who's going back to the Raiders. So let's hope for the best here, and hopefully Woodson can have a great year in Oakland. Special teams. Sebastian Janikowski rocks. This guy's badass. He kicked the heck out of a football and is just one great kicker. He's entering his 14th season in the NFL and looks at no signs of stopping soon. Punting will be Marquette King, and returning will be hopefully a healthy Jacoby Ford. Can they make the playoffs? No. Are you kidding me? No. The Raiders will not make the playoffs. I'm sorry, guys. Too much stuff gone. But they are heading in the right direction, I think, as far as the future goes. Now, see, this is what happens when you don't take care of your salary. Don't take care of your cap. You just have. What's happening to the Raiders right now is what happens when you don't take care of your cap. And it's very sad because they look like they were going to have a decent team, but when you sign players left and right and don't draft and develop, the Raiders is what happens to you. So, gutting your whole team and losing valuable players will hurt the Raiders a lot going into the season because there's still a lot of holes to fill. The QB is up in the air, and McFadden, who's probably the most valuable player on the team, can't stay healthy. So, if anything, I'll be very surprised this year if they even get a winning record or even close to 500 in the standings. As I look at their first 6 games, the only game I can see them winning is against Jacksonville in week 2. They play the Colts, Denver, Washington, San Diego, and a very talented Kansas City team. For me, I just can't see them winning against any of those teams. So, and this is just going to be another year for McKenzie to find out who the football players are and to go forward with those players to succeed. He said he wants football players, not wannabes, so this may be another difficult season to watch for Raider fans. But I think in the light, there is something that's glimmering for Raider fans. I think the light at the end of the tunnel is beginning to shine just a little for the silver and black. And Raider Nation can actually be excited for something to look forward to. Other than that, though, no way are the Raiders going to have a playoff spot this year. There is just no way. Too much talent's gone. Sorry. Maybe, hopefully, next year. And with that, my football fans, ends my segment on the Oakland Raiders. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave any comments below and subscribe to my page. The next team I'll be taking on will be the San Diego Superchargers. See you later, folks.